On today's show, the new Glass trailer promises a lot of comic book action. We have our Cassandra, Cain casting, and last but certainly not least, did the new Dumbo trailer make, not me, but Mark Reilly's eyes well up with tears? I think
spoilers. Yes.
Find that out. Collider Movie Talk starts right now. Well, hello everybody and welcome to the show. I'll just do this or I'll go over there. Doesn't really matter because I have this vest on, and that is Mark Yodi Reilly. Over there is our special guest, Sean O'Connell. Thank you so much, Sean O'Connell, for coming back all the way from North Carolina, making the flight just to sit on this desk.
That's what I did. Yes, I travel all these miles just to be with you guys. It's a pleasure.
Well, not just to be here talking movies, because me and Sean have also been giving Mark Reilly some tips as to how to deal with his eye dilation, because you had your eyes tested and you look high as a kite right now.
Yeah. Where's my camera? There it is. I'm very happy to be here right now. The shapes are really pretty and floating, and wow, these are bright lights.
Yeah, we're really proud of you here. But did you pass your eye test, or are you getting the?
Yeah. I passed with flying colors. Need glasses. Yeah.
We'll see.
Getting glasses for writing and for work on the computer.
We both have done LASIK. Mm-hmm. We got LASIK. I have no complaints. You feeling good?
My life. To absolutely change my life.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it enough.
And we both got it done together at 3:30 p.m. today, so it works fast. You should get in there.
I should really look into that. Yeah. I don't think of it. Does my insurance cover that?
My guy did in the alley out back, though.
Oh, it was in the back?
Yeah.
Great. That's I'll take it.
Professional.
Yeah, my guy's name is Jigsaw. So we all had a lot of fun here. Sean, by way of Charlotte, North Carolina. I went to Wake Forest, got the tattoo here to prove it. Mark Reilly, maybe he's tasted North Carolina barbecue at some point in his life.
Man.
Yeah.
Good man.
A lot of fun movie news to get to today. Oh, and by the way, I saw Creed 2 last night.
Oh.
Yeah,
I can't talk about it yet.
You son of a...
All right, so let's just move on to the first Dumbo trailer. Hey, we had the poster yesterday, and then with the poster, we got the trailer last night. Well, he's not a little elephant. I guess any elephant's a big elephant, but by proxy, Dumbo, kind of smaller, diminutive, except for the ears, which help him fly. What does he not have? A mom to hug. Oh my God, this trailer just punching you in the face with that. I knew they would do it, but Tim Burton's live-action CGI hybrid, I guess if you want to say. The elephants are mostly CGI. The humans are real human beings. It's got an impressive cast, and what this trailer did is be like, hey, we're Dumbo. We're coming into theaters to make you cry. But Sean O'Connell, is it going to do more than that? And when I say more than that, I mean, is this a trailer that's going to get family dollars at the box office? What do you think of it?
I think 100%. Yeah. I mean, it looks fantastic. It looks gorgeous. Tim Burton seems to have directed the daylights out of this thing. The CGI looks incredible. I mean, we've come leaps and bounds in terms of bringing believable characters to life. I talk about Thanos, and when I watched Thanos in Infinity War, I was like, oh, now they can do the thing, right? Like, now it's time for Fantastic Four to finally come around. Then I see Dumbo. It now convinces me that there's nothing you can't do realistically, because I firmly believe that they just trained a baby elephant to do everything Tim Burton wanted them to do.
It really feels like that, and you say we're not even looking at footage of The Lion King yet.
Oh, God, forget it. That's going to blow the doors off.
So, Mark Reilly, just level with us here and all the viewers at home watching Collider Movie Talk or listening on the podcast feed. Are your eyes watery because you had a test, or is it because you watched the
Yeah, I did cry. I'm not gonna lie. That, like, marketing campaign coming in hot. They knew exactly, you manipulating sons of guns. They played that song played. I watched it with my fiance last night, and she was like, no, see, no, they're playing the this looks great. Yeah. I could feel the tears in my eyes. And to all your points, Sean, yes, it looked gorgeous. Tim Burton, yeah, he looked like he directed the hell out of this thing. I haven't, a lot of his movies as of late, I haven't really gravitated to, like some of his earlier work. This looks right in his wheelhouse. I didn't think it was going to be in his wheel. I mean, at first, you're like, Dumbo, what are we going to get? These like gothic trees everywhere? And what are we going to get? But this looks colorful. It looks playful. It looks like a perfect animated to live action remake of this movie. It had all the beats, and again, my fiance goes, where's the talking mouse? I'm like, I don't think we're going to have the talking mouse.
Right.
What is it?
Timothy Q Mouse.
But she's like, there's the feather. I'm like, yep, we're getting those beats.
You're definitely going to talk. Are you kidding me? You're definitely going to get a talking mouse.
I think you're going to.
Do you think
so?
Okay. I didn't know if they were going to play this kind of, like more real, yes, CGI and the magic and everything. But like Elephants on Parade, I can kind of see it being that weird scene that we saw in the and Under the Big Top, where it's like not so much like an acid flashback, but more of like a performance during.
That was a weird period in Disney animation.
Exactly.
They didn't mind detouring into some really strange visuals.
Well, let's be honest. It was a weird period for a lot of things, and a lot of elements of Dumbo don't necessarily hold up today.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think Timothy Q. Like, look, maybe it's like a Sabrina the Teenage Witch situation where there's a mouse that maybe can communicate, but not the same way. Because the black cat in the Adventures of Sabrina, or whatever the Netflix show is called, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the cat doesn't necessarily speak, but it can intonate stuff and hint to Sabrina. Maybe there's a mouse that can only talk to Dumbo.
Well, the reason I asked is because the Cinderella remake, the mice didn't talk. So I was wondering if they're going to go that same route. Like, I saw Timothy. He's in his little circus gear in that cage towards the beginning of the trailer.
Yeah.
He might just be doing some squeaks and Dumbo going,
Are we doing bets on whether the mouse talks or not? Anybody?
I think I just threw it
I'll
down
take
there.
the
yeah.
over on that's happening.
How many words Timothy Q. Mouse
I love
says?
that this trailer too is one of those ones where like each beat revealed somebody else that you were like, oh, they're in this. Like first it was Colin Farrell. I was like, oh, Colin Farrell's in this. That's
Right.
kind of cool. Oh, Danny DeVito's in this. And then when Keaton shows up, you're like, Keaton's in this. Forget it. I'm there opening day.
Yeah, I mean, you see the casting and you forget about the fact that this is a beloved story with the elephant or the elephants and the mouse that may or may not speak a whole lot of lines. The human casting of this is great. Tim Burton is a director. Just from the trailers I've seen and from what we mentioned yesterday is that some people have seen extended footage at CinemaCon earlier this year, that Tim Burton, he's still got his fastball when it comes to making whimsical adventures that might hint at some darkness like this. I think this is the perfect movie for Tim Burton to do a big budget film again, working with Disney. The movie comes out the last weekend of March. The first weekend of March is Captain Marvel. So Disney bookending March, and if this isn't just a beacon, letting the world know once again that the summer movie season starts firmly in March, at the latest, if not February. I mean, Disney's going to dominate this entire month. How high do we see Dumbo soaring with the box office? I mean, is this going to be a film that takes off internationally as well, do you think, Mark Reilly?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, are you talking opening weekend numbers or
Sure,
just
and then
all
also
in?
The final tally. I mean, are we looking at $1 billion here, do you think?
If that movie hits you right here, like that trailer's doing, if you get that, that classic Dumbo moment of, the tears and everything, and then the adventure, and then the great resounding feel-good ending that we know is coming, I think you will have a repeat business. I think you could see $1 billion movie, at least in the 700, 800 million range worldwide.
Sean, do you think it's got that ceiling?
If I'm going to give $1 billion tag to one of the live action ones coming, it's Lion King.
Yeah, oh yeah,
and I
you're
feel
right
like
about that.
If they only need to release that Circle of Life opening that they've been teasing everywhere.
God, everybody's seen it, and I haven't seen this yet. Yeah, I know. I'm dying for that.
It would dilate your pupils even more.
Okay.
This is what's going to happen.
You know what you're talking about. Where are you? There you are. Okay.
So I think that Dumbo could do, second best, and I kind of think Aladdin's going to do third. I don't really know if the demand for Aladdin is there, but $1 billion. Everybody says $1 billion, and they're like, "Oh, that's going to do $1 billion," and then they all stall at like 7, 8. So I can see it doing kind of around there. There's just so much of a demand, just Disney alone. There's so much of demand for people to go to the movie theaters and support their product. You talked about Captain Marvel. I bet you Avengers 4 is going to move into April.
Yes,
there might be people who just sort of sit back and say, "I can't be going to the movies to see a Disney movie every single week. I'm going to hold off on Dumbo." Maybe it's just not for them.
It's an interesting point, and it's if you're looking at this and you're an MCU fan and you want to go see movies in general, you definitely want to see Captain Marvel, and then you might want to save up for Avengers 4 and make Dumbo the one you miss, unless they do something crazy and attach some exclusive Avengers 4 footage to the beginning of Dumbo, which I would not put it past Disney to do. So to date, this is a fun game for everybody to play at home too, is the worldwide unadjusted box office for Disney live-action reimaginings. 2 Disney films have hit the $1 billion mark worldwide. Obviously, Beauty and the Beast is number 1. That's $1.2 billion. Nice chunk of change.
I got
$3
number
more
2.
billion, you can buy Star Wars. What do you think is number 2?
Alice in Wonderland.
How did you know? Did you cheat?
I did not cheat. I just remembered that crossing $1 billion and being like, whoa, because I didn't like it.
Back in 2010.
Yeah, I didn't like the movie per se. There were some moments that I really liked, but I remember the news. I just remember it kept going and scratching my head going, so many people going back to see this movie. What's going on here? All right. And I knew it was $1 billion.
And that was Tim Burton also.
And that was Tim Burton, yeah.
That's right.
People like Tim Burton, all right, because you didn't get to play because Mark Reilly cheated and got the answer right.
Right.
You didn't cheat. You just,
I just
knew it. Knowledge is smart.
Yeah.
Number 3. Do you know what number 3 is? At $966 million worldwide, almost hitting the magical $1 billion mark.
Was it Cinderella?
It was the Jungle Book.
Oh,
Jungle Book,
really
yes.
well.
But again, part of the reason why
That
people were
did
excited
really
to see
well.
the Jungle Book is because they want to see how the animals look, and those animals look fantastic. We surmise the same thing will happen with The Lion King, and certainly Dumbo from that trailer. You can't believe it's not a real elephant,
Right,
and it's acting in there. So Dumbo, once again, in theaters, March 29th, 2019. Our next story is from the DC side of things, and there's been a lot of excitement, a lot of hubbub and fanfare around this Birds of Prey movie. The Birds of Prey movie has been moved up on the DC priority list. The film is coming out February 7th of 2020, so give it another year and a few months before you actually see it in theaters. But what you will see in there is a very young version of Cassandra Cain. In the comic book storyline, she eventually takes on the mantle of Batgirl after befriending Bruce Wayne, and we now know who's going to play her. It is Ella J. Basco. She is all of 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old at the most. She's appeared in a number of things already. She's having a great young career. She will be playing Cassandra Cain. So I think as important as Ella J. Basco being cast as Cassandra Cain, it's also what the age range that they're going for with their eventual Batgirl here, Mark Reilly. So what does it say to you that the Birds of Prey movie is going to have a young one playing the version of Cassandra Cain?
I think they're looking forward to sequels and many sequels and setting up ultimately her becoming Batgirl maybe. But I know we do have a Batgirl movie that's going to focus on, the original, what you call Barbara Gordon. So this seems to tease definitely that we are getting more of this maybe shared universe. It's getting confusing with some conflicting reports that maybe they would recast Ben Affleck. So I don't know what's happening on that end with Batman, but this seems to have obviously Margot Robbie. We get Cassandra Cain in here. I just see that they're looking forward to that. This is a hit. Maybe they can, the second movie becomes, another kind of villain pops up. The Birds of Prey keep working together, and then the third movie, maybe Batgirl makes her entrance.
Yeah, I mean, if you want some info or some background on the character of Cassandra Cain, at least as far as the comic book goes, you may want to see. Well, you can read the comics first. That's probably what you should do, or you can go watch a movie like Hannah, a movie like Old Boy, or dare I say the Bourne movies, because Sean, this character raised from assassins, trained in relative obscurity from the rest of the world to become an assassin. I mean, once that person takes on the mantle of Batgirl, look out, bad guys at Gotham.
Yeah, and this is great because I have no baggage with this franchise. I don't know a whole heck of a lot about the Birds of Prey, and so I'm looking forward to this project to sort of go in at the entry level with them, as opposed to all the other DC heroes that they've tried to get off the ground, Superman, Batman, where you have this whole legacy, this history of the characters on screen. This is really exciting because it's a fresh start. So I don't know a lot about this actress. I don't know a lot about the character, and I think that's okay. I'm ready to get in and start to learn about them through that movie, so that I'm not sitting there like, last time I was here, we talked about Venom, and I had a lot of baggage with Spider-Man and brought a lot to that project, and that's why I was disappointed. I think if I come in knowing next to nothing about the Birds of Prey and learn about them through this movie, great. That's what I want to do. I'm ready to enter the DC universe that way.
Yeah, what are y'all's quick takes on the logic behind Walter Hamada and the DC brass wanting to move up the Birds of Prey project? I mean, I look at it from a number of different angles, and one is clearly they believe in this movie. They like the script that Christina Hodson wrote, but they also like the fact that Margot Robbie is in this movie and she's producing it and she's pushing for this thing. I believe it's going to have an R rating and it comes out February 7th of 2020. This thing has all the signs to not only be a hit in its own right, but also maybe continue to turn the tide of the DCEU, hopefully from whatever Joker does, although that movie isn't in the DCEU. Right. We don't know where Birds of Prey is going to land. Is that even going to be in the same universe as Wonder Woman? But it might be one of those films that comes out that generates a different conversation than what we have been having with some DC properties.
And it still feels like DC is sending canaries into the coal mine. Like they don't necessarily know 100% what's going to work. And they're sort of letting these projects go out there. 2019 was, to me, lining up to be a very exciting year for them with Shazam and then having Wonder Woman. When they shifted Wonder Woman back, I thought that was a really strange move for them because now it allows Marvel to have a dominant 2019 and now DC is sort of going into 2020 with some curiosity. Like, how is Birds of Prey going to perform? Yes, they have Wonder Woman coming, but they don't really know what's what's behind it. So moving it up sounds like a vote of confidence, but we still talk about the slate behind Birds of Prey, where you mentioned, they might be a Batgirl movie, but we don't really know if that's going to happen, right? They might do this Flash movie, maybe, right? We're not quite sure. Ezra Miller says that he's potentially going to do it. We don't know the future of Ben Affleck. We don't know the future of Henry Cavill. There's so many questions that still remain with the DC slate, and so I want answers, but I also want them to take their time, because I'm hearing good things about Aquaman. You know, if they're giving Patty Jenkins time to work on her sequel and get it to where it needs to be, fine. If that's what they have to do, we're in this culture where we constantly want news now.
Yeah.
You know, tell us what's happening. Maybe them stepping back and letting these projects breathe and do them properly is the right way to go.
Yeah, Riley, maybe they're just stepping back and they're going to go see Avengers 4 and just hope that Marvel kills everybody.
I know. Whole universe wiped out. That's it. Kevin Feige retired.
Now it's time for the Joker to emerge.
Yeah.
And for Cassandra Cain and everybody. I mean, Birds of Prey, do you think that is part of the DC strategies? They're just like, hey, look, we're going to call 2019. Shazam comes out. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's bad. We're going to be okay. And then the Joker later on that year. And then 2020 we want that to be the year of DC.
Yeah, the thing I go to is the fact that we reported on the news of the director coming in. We know that Margot Robbie was really pushing for this. She's making a fantastic career as a producer. She's like behind the scenes doing so much good work, it seems. But when I heard that they dated this thing and that they liked the script, that for me, I circle that script came in, and above everything else, whether it's Batgirl, Flashpoint, The Flash, whatever you're calling that, whatever is going on with Superman, obviously, even though you know me, I want my Superman movie. This just seems like they really like the script and they believe in it, and they believe in Margot Robbie, and that character was probably the most important one or popular that came out of Suicide Squad. Why not try it? To your point, canaries in the mines. Yeah, maybe this is the one that lives,
isn't it?
And it does well.
And that's so sad that like the novel concept is that the studio likes the script.
Yes, that's exactly. Yeah. That's where
we have a good script.
That's why I look at this and go, maybe forward. That's the reason. You know,
it's like Janine Melnitz in Ghostbusters ringing the bell. We got one.
I know,
and not just a release date that you have to race to hit.
Right, which was like, weren't we getting a Flashpoint movie? Weren't we getting a Cyborg movie?
Cyborg was supposed to be 2020.
Yeah, I'm in for the Cyborg movie.
Yeah,
still in.
Yeah. Where was that? What was that other one?
Well, Matt Reeves is going to have to do something with Batman soon, right?
Yes,
the Matt Reeves Batman is coming.
He's working on that script right now, and then. Do they like that script? Right. We'll see. And
maybe
then younger Batman, who knows?
The studio likes. And again, we don't know what's happening with Ezra Miller as far as playing the Flash again, but we do know that Ezra Miller, if you like your Ezra Miller not as the Flash and not having, lines to say in movies, you may like him in Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. We have a review up on Collider now. The Schmoes review is going to be up later on tonight. So if you're not sure if you want to spend your money on the Wizarding World of Harry Potter film, check out the review here on Collider right now. Well, we move on to our next story, and that is a big one if you're trying to keep track of all of this craziness involving streaming services coming out. Disney Plus is, I think, the name of the Disney streaming service, but this is about the Apple streaming service. Yeah. Do you think Apple wasn't going to have some sort of streaming service sooner rather than later? And now Apple has, I guess you could say, padded its library and its future if A24 has anything to say about it. And you probably know A24 from producing a number of great films, distributing them, being a studio that rewards the independent lover, but also can make some blockbuster movies that sneak up on you. And now Apple has signed a deal with A24. A24 is going to be producing a lot of content for the Apple streaming service, whatever it's going to be called. When we get a name for it, we'll let you know. A24 has a lot of talent in their stable already. They've done a lot of great movies. Like I said, have done boffo box office, whether or not we thought they would before they were released. Now, this deal that Apple has signed with A24 does not preclude A24 from continuing to make movies independently and distributing them, but we're going to see a lot of content from A24 on an Apple streaming service. This is very similar to the deals that Netflix has with some creators like Jason Bateman and Shonda Rhimes. Amazon has Jordan Peele, Nicole Kidman, Barry Jenkins. So every streaming service is just looking at every entertainer, every studio in town, Sean, and they're saying, hey, do you want to join our team? This feels a lot like Game of Thrones, where you have all these different houses and they know it's going to be one or we're done. And so we need to recruit as many arms as we possibly can. Where do you think Apple stands after hearing this A24 news?
I mean, not much higher, in my opinion. And with all due respect to A24, I frequently like a lot of the films that they put out. But the acquisition of A24 is not convincing me to take my $15 that's dedicated to some other streaming service and say, I've got to be in business with whatever this new Apple thing is. And it's really interesting. We're watching at a time right now where studios are snatching up recognizable IPs to build franchises, right? Like, this is what's happening. And Warner Brothers has their Fantastic Beasts, and we don't know what's happening with Fox and going over to Disney. And now we're seeing this happen in all the streaming services. Obviously, Disney has a huge leg up with all of the properties that they own. And like you said, everybody's sort of carving out their little corner of what they have. Apple picking up A24, how is that any different from Filmstruck, which we just saw fade away? You know, they're prestige films with talent that when they create an interesting movie that you want to go out and support them, obviously. But I don't know, unless you guys differ, like is the A24 library saying, yes, I need to be part of that service? Or to me, it has to be something else that comes along with it.
Well, when I hear you speak about it, it seems like you have the same conundrum that I think a lot of people would. You mentioned like the $15 that we're all going to have to invent to get on with a new streaming service, where the fan in you says, look, I like a lot of these movies, so I might want to say A24. But Mark Reilly, speak to the fan side, but also the business side that Sean hinted at, where it's like, does that make sense for Apple to say, oh, this is the studio we want? Or do you see this being a very small cog in a larger machine?
Yeah, I mean, does it say how much or like what? We don't know. We don't know a lot, I guess you could say, from this. Yeah, I tend to agree. When I saw the news, when I see the notes, I went, okay. A24, yeah, like a lot of the movies. Not something I'm going to slam that $15 down for.
Sure.
Like right now, the must, and maybe this is just your taste in movies, characters, what have you. I'm a Star Wars guy. I'm a Marvel guy. I'm a DC guy. That's where I go if I want to spend top dollar on a streaming service. So Disney Plus, yeah, you're giving me a Mandalorian, you're giving me, a Lady and the Tramp live action remake. We could see movies like we talked on Rule of Two, the Star Wars podcast I do with Fernandez, and Christian joined us. Maybe an Obi-Wan movie could work on a Disney Plus streaming service. You never know. That's where I'm putting my money. I was actually a little bit like, oh, Apple A24. Okay, I thought they would make a bigger acquisition. I thought they would want to make a huge splash to compete with
They have
Disney.
money.
They have the money.
They have money, but they didn't even acquire A24 again. I mean, they're partnering with A24,
right.
so they can work with them. And our own Jeff Snyder had heard a rumor that this was one that's denied, but Snyder's a guy that knows things from time to time. So he heard that A24 was also had a pass made at them from Amazon, and that A24 turned it down. So A24 was either holding out for so clearly A24 is making money on this, and it's a good chunk of change. And like we have pointed out, like we probably, I mean, look at my computer. Apple's got money. Okay?
Yes.
They have multiple thousands just from this idiot talking right now. Apple's doing very well, as is Disney. But what Apple might not have in the world of entertainment that Disney does have, like you gentlemen pointed out, is that the independent properties that Disney have. I mean, you talk about the all-time hits. You're playing Star Wars, Marvel, the Disney library. You get all of that stuff. With Apple, it's going to be an increasingly tough ground to create IP that people actually care about.
Sure.
So this might be the way that other competing streaming services against Disney go forward. We see Netflix trying to make a lot of original stuff, but Netflix also is going to be in the business of acquiring different studios and what their properties are. So A24 may just be the first arrow in the quiver of Apple. This is breaking news across my desk that Perry just sent me. It's that Rat Pack Dune's Warner Brothers film content in their library is up for sale right now too. So it's a quiet tug of war going on right now. But these are movies that do have built-in IP, like a Batman v Superman, the Lego Movie, Creed. That's not Creed 2. Annabelle, Godzilla, all these kind of things. So
I have another angle on A24 here, real fast. I wonder if they're struggling getting their movies into theaters. Like if they look at the landscape and realize they're constantly competing against franchises that need 3 to 4 screens whenever they open, right? And when the Disneys and the Warner Brothers of the world make the demands of, if you're going to play our movie, you're going to play. I take it from this perspective. I know that Roma is trying to get into theaters to contend, and Netflix is running into all these different issues. I wonder if behind the scenes A24 is saying, we're having a really hard time getting our good films in front of people, and they just see this streaming service, because you guys know the streaming service landscape is changing by the month.
Every day.
And maybe they just see this as a guarantee to get ourselves in front of eyeballs, right? And the Apple people, whoever commits to the streaming service, now they can say, okay, we've got a subscriber base that at least we can show these movies in front of.
Yeah, you have a subscriber base that you can say, hey, here's the movies that are available to you. And I think if you're A24, you're looking at, hey, we're going to produce X amount of movies, And once one of them starts getting buzz, or a few of them start getting buzz early on, we like a trailer, we screen it ourselves, and we say, hey, this thing has box office capability, like we've seen with some A24 movies. Those are the ones that make it to theaters, and now they have another landing spot for their content to get out in a first-run feel, because streaming services are the way of the future, Reilly.
Yeah, I wonder, too, what's the price point going to be for this? You know, we're going to be weighing that.
That's the golden question.
Yeah, it's because...
It's the deal breaker.
You know, if they're putting exclusively on Apple, you can see The Witch. You know, it's like, that'll get me because I'm a horror guy.
That'll get me to come over to your house.
Yeah. but at the same point, if I'm then looking next, like, here's my streaming with The Witch, you know, The Mandalorian and or another movie in Disney or Marvel. I'm going this, but that also bums me out. There's a double-edged sword here. I can't go see The Witch in a big theater.
Yeah.
But that's a great point that you made, Sean, about the idea of them not being able to get eyeballs on these movies, or because it's so dependent on these shared universes, sequels, big blockbusters. This might be a great way to do it. Again, it's all going to go down to consumer. It's that how much? Like, I have a Netflix account, I have a Hulu account, I have an Amazon account, and now I have a Disney streaming, and now an Apple. What else?
Yeah.
I mean, I had to get rid of cable, otherwise I'm going to be evicted because I can't pay my rent. So it's like, what am I going to do with this?
I would love if Riley just went on a rant about his financial difficulties for the next 15 minutes. It had nothing to do with movies. Cow's eating up a house, and
then my eyes are dilated, and then I ran into a wall, and then, my God, I order a pizza.
Well, anyway, let's talk about that Glass trailer now. But Sean, Riley does bring up a good point that we're having some fun with, is that, like, because you brought up the dollar amount, $15, right?
Sure.
So let's give you all $15, and your current streaming services are what? You do the Netflix, Hulu, Amazon,
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, Amazon Prime. Hey, we got to shop at Whole Foods. What do we? Come on, going to Ralph's?
Yeah.
I got Ralph's. So if I give you guys those three, and that's what you're already paying for, and you're fine with that, and then you found $15 a month to get a new streaming service, Disney seems like the front runner, unless you guys have some other idea.
And I mean by a long shot. It's not even close.
Not close.
And
What
and
is
again,
selling you on the Disney streaming service? Just out of curiosity.
the IPs that they own. I'm such a Marvel guy. I'm such a Marvel fanatic. I'm a Star Wars guy also. But the fact that they are investing in original content so that when they launch, like when Netflix launched, it was just back catalog, right? And now they're getting to the point where they're working with the Alfonso Cuarons, the Coen brothers, and that's
Michael Bay.
When Disney drops, Disney's going to drop with a Lady and the Tramp movie, you know, that theoretically should be in theaters, but they're keeping it on their streaming service. The Mandalorian, these Marvel shows, the Loki show that they're creating. And I think they're just scratching the surface, the amount of things they're going to do. So I need to be on the ground floor of that. So if I only have $15 and that service costs $30, I'm taking money out of my kid's pocket, you know, to get that Disney streaming service. And I don't think anything else right now is
until further notice from Disney.
Yeah, I don't know if anything is even close, to be honest. And if they get the Fox catalog too, forget it. All bets are off.
That's something else to remember. If you like your Alien and Predator movies, they're probably going to be on some sort of Disney Plus. I don't know.
Yeah, just look at that. Yeah, then you add the Fox deal on top of this, and you have a library now at your fingertips where you're conceivably losing those movies from other streaming services. Disney's going to take them back and put them on there. So you have a library. You can sit back and go, well, I want to watch the original Dumbo tonight. Well, I want to watch Loki tonight. I want to watch. There's no contest for me as well. The Pixar. I mean, it's boggling my mind how much they have, how much they're cornering that. So that money's going to Disney for sure for me.
All right. Well, I'm just going to continue to be good friends with my buddies Sean and Mark, so and go over to their place and watch The Mandalorian and watch all this cool stuff. And then I'm just going to sign up for the ESPN streaming service. But you know, ESPN's going to have some sort of deal with Disney,
of course,
where you get 2 for 1, and that's what's going to sucker me in, as they always do. Well, we have one more story to get to, and that's the Glass trailer. Before we talk about it, I want to remind everybody out there, we're going to save some time for your live Twitter questions. So go ahead and start tweeting us right now at Collider Video. Use the hashtag Collider Movie Talk. And that Glass trailer that I teased, what did we think about it, gentlemen? This is a trailer that, look, you've already sold me on the movie Glass. I honestly went to this trailer saying, don't show me too much. They showed a lot, but I know there's something coming. That M. Night Shyamalan is just too savvy of a filmmaker, either in his heyday or in his return to what feels like a second coming. I just don't think that he would allow a trailer on the street that would show you every twist and turn, but he might allow a trailer that makes you make all the wrong guesses as to what that twist and turn is. Is that how y'all felt?
You're giving him a lot of credit, and that's fair. You should do that, but I think the marketing is kind of out of his hands, and I'm afraid that this one showed a little bit too much.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
because I'm at the point, too, where I just want the movie here. Don't show me anything else. I'm on board. I'm sold. I'm going to this.
January 18th.
When I was watching it, I was like, I didn't want to see that right now. So, but that's fine. I'm still going to go.
He's still going to go. Might know a little bit too much about it. Mark Reilly, where do you stand on Glass? And I will remind everybody out there, you got, 2 months? 2 months before you go see this movie.
Yeah, I mean it's like every trailer nowadays with the marketing campaign. They're showing you, here it is, here's your tease. Not even a teaser. It's a tease of the teaser. Then you get the teaser. Then you get the poster that's announcing the trailer. Then you get another trailer.
Then I got to pay $10 for Netflix.
Then you watch season 3 of Stranger Things. Then you get another trailer embedded in season 3 of Stranger Things. And then you get the featurette. And then you get the behind the scenes.
Gran Torino Mark Reilly is my favorite.
Who said that? I hear your voice. I hear you breathing. There you are. This is fine. Yeah,
But we still think the movie looks good, right?
the movie looks great. You had my
terrific.
money. You had my money at the end of Split. For God's sakes, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't need to see a lick of footage. Now that I know it's connected to Unbreakable, I am so in. This just had a little different twist to it. Yeah, it showed a hell of a lot of stuff, but it had a little theme here as like superheroes teaming up.
Yeah.
The villains teaming up. You get it. Yeah, pump the brakes now, marketing. We're good. We don't need to see anything. But to your point, Ellis, I do think that M. Night might have a little bit of say. Like maybe there's a big, huge twist that we don't know, and maybe he is throwing some red herrings out there that that there's more. I believe in him.
Hasn't he said this is a trilogy? Like, he has an idea for a third movie, I thought. So
Well, that's another question.
Isn't it a trilogy now? This is the third.
with Split being the middle?
I mean,
Okay,
but
gotcha.
I hesitate, even with that knowledge that this might be the last movie in a purported trilogy that's taken almost 20 years to make, which I'm fine with, is that, is there going to be a twist in this movie? Not the normal Shyamalanian twist that we always expect. And maybe there is no twist. Maybe it just plays out and it's a good movie.
Right.
But at the end of the film, what was such a crazy gut punch was that additional thing that we got that just spun into this whole now what we know is a trilogy.
Sure.
Is there a chance that there's something like that at the end of Glass? I mean, the thing with M. Night, if he's a pitcher and I'm up to bat against him, you never give him the doubt of putting something by you that you've never seen before, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I think that if they're going to branch out, they're going to have to go out with another character, because I don't see them getting Bruce Willis and Sam Jackson to come back. I think this was their one shot, to tell another story with their two characters, and that if they're going to do something else, it'll be in a way that, like, you spent a whole movie learning about James McAvoy, and then it was part of this universe. So maybe it's Joaquin Phoenix from The Village. He shows up at the end.
Or there's signs. Give me more signs.
Yeah, right.
Give me the aliens.
Mel Gibson shows up with a glass of water. And
You know
we're off
what?
in another
You guys
direction.
are joking. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not kidding you.
He says he has this whole Philadelphia shared universe.
I'm wondering now if maybe he does tip his hat that every single movie is like the View Askew universe. It's the Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I want to see the kids from Signs, because we all, if you want to feel old, I want to see the kids from Signs, now adults.
Right.
I want to see what they're doing in the world, what sort of crazy schemes they're getting into if they see dead people now. I don't know if they are dead
As long
people.
as Lady in the Water is not included, right?
We're
going to ignore that that's a
I'm
thing.
such a Shyamalan apologist and
Right.
defender, even though I hated The Last Airbender. I've never seen Lady in the Water.
Oh, you need to see it.
I do need to see it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's a curiosity.
Okay.
I really like the dude with the bigger arm.
Yes.
That guy just makes.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Giamatti's good in it. I like
Giamatti's
Giamatti in
good,
it.
yeah. Bryce Dallas Howard.
The dude
Yes.
with the bigger arm.
Yes. That
Yeah,
makes
was that
sense in
John's?
context. I knew exactly what
I
he
was
said.
going to say, bigger arm than the other one. That's
weird
like
when
he
you
high
has,
school
he has
male
a
that you
big,
could-
big, bulky arm over here.
Just one, though.
And then my arm,
Yeah.
Like,
which is skinny and weak.
Like Popeye. Looks like Popeye.
like Quagmire when he discovers the internet and Family Guy.
Yes, exactly.
See where we're going here? And that means it's time to move on to live Twitter questions.
There
But
we
before
are.
we get there, I want to remind y'all that we got a stack day on Collider Video around these parts. It's Tomorrow, it's Friday, so we're going to have movie review talk hosted by the guy who doesn't like to shout at all, Scott Mantz. He's excited to talk. TV talk is back, and we have a movie trivia Schmoedown tournament preview. I think Christian and I are doing that one, so you're going to want to tune in. A whole lot of stuff to sort out. It's been fun chaos this season. Now our live Twitter questions. J. Scott St. Clair kicks us off. And he says, legacy characters are typically associated with comic book properties. So what are the best non-comic book film legacy characters? And I'm gonna throw Star Wars out of this.
Oh,
interesting
characters.
Get
So
rid
like
of the Star
Superman's
Wars and
is
Star
a
Trek. Superman's a legacy character.
Is a legacy character. Okay, and then I see what you mean.
Here, I'll start us off with
Please.
somebody else that Bruce Willis has played to some effect in recent years. Well, maybe not recent years, but previous years. John McClane. I think that's a great legacy character that could use a legacy boost of late, but John McClane, the first 3 Die Hard movies, all-time great action films, in my opinion, so I consider that a great legacy character.
Yeah, I think we have a new one to look forward to, and that's John Wick. I think he's a legacy character now.
Oh, nice play.
I think he really, the second movie was just as good as the first, in my opinion. Can't wait. The third movie is filming, and everybody starts sharing that picture of Keanu, John Wick on a horse, and they're like, yes, oh my God. It's like, you put this character on a horse and everybody loses their mind.
Right.
That's a legacy character. Everybody's excited.
I'll go Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And I'm such a broken man that I'm excited for Indy 5. And
I am too.
Why? I have no clue how I can actually find it inside of me to get excited for 79-year-old Harrison Ford fighting Nazis, but when it opens, I'm there.
I'm there too.
Okay, so we have Indiana Jones, John Wick, John McClane. I hate to say, I think John Wick wins that fight between the 3 of them.
Yeah.
At least right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if we have
In their
Raiders,
prime, though?
yeah,
In their
Indiana
prime.
Raiders, Indiana Jones, I put over everybody just because it's Indy, and you saw in Raiders, the guy can hold his own and then wait for the perfect moment for a plane propeller to just take that guy out, and he's walking away
Isn't that
every
the
time.
best fight sequence?
It is the best
in cinematic
fight.
history.
It really is.
Choreography on it is amazing. So Spielberg at the top of his game.
Yeah. Well, I want to see John Wick find like some sort of like amulet or ancient artifact that he thinks he can use to
that'd
be
be
the
great.
best assassin, and then he's
Right.
going up against Indiana Jones. Like, John Wick's going to win that fight. I love Indiana Jones more than the John Wick movies, but John Wick's winning that
As long
fight.
as Indy stays away from his dog, I'm sure he's fine.
We'll do one more and call it a day. We named the dog Indiana. Rick Velaz is last up, and he says, pitch a reboot/remake of any film, but the caveat is your 2 leads have to be Timothy Chalamet and Lucas Hedges.
Oh.
So you can reboot any film
That's
you
easy.
want.
So easy. Bill and Ted.
Oh.
I want to see those 2 as Bill and Ted.
not bad.
Timothy Chalamet as Ted Theodore Logan is something that needs to happen in this
Yeah.
universe.
Okay, I like that a lot. I'm thinking Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, nice.
We got a nice surrounding cast. I have Lucas Hedges as the Judge Reinhold character,
Okay.
and
All right.
I have Timothy Chalamet as Spicoli. Okay. I think Timothy
I also wanna see
Chalamet
that now.
At some point has a great stoner role. I mean, you said Bill and Ted,
Yeah.
so I mean, I think Timothy Chalamet has a great stoner, just knock it out of the park kind of thing. So now Mark Reilly.
I can't pull anything right now.
Mark, let me tell you something. The world loves Sean and I's choices.
Yeah, I know.
We
They were
are-
The internet
fantastic.
is on fire.
Celebrated all over the place.
So
the spotlight has never been brighter on you.
Yeah, because of my dilated pupils. It's blinding me right now.
That's what it is. It's distracting.
Yeah.
Very much so.
The
the man needs glasses. Let's not pile on.
Yeah.
Al's Variety says the Three Musketeers
But there's only
Not
2
bad.
of them.
would be something.
Yeah, we bring in another up-and-comer.
2 Chalamets.
Mr. G Movie says make a Green Day biopic with Timothy Chalamet as Billy Joe Armstrong and Lucas Hedges as Mike Dern.
Okay.
It's a good
I
one.
can see that. I can see that.
Satendra, our fan, Satendra Banerjee says The Outsiders. Seeing the Ferris Bueller as Step Brothers remake. So
Oh yeah, those are good ones. I was going towards, like, for some reason I kept thinking The Explorers, because they're making that into a TV show, and
Right.
it was like a young Ethan Hawke, and they go up in space. You remember, it's like the heyday of like
or Weird
Amblin.
Science
Weird Science.
could work.
Now
I'm
that's
stealing your
a
Weird
win.
Science.
That
I
is
was
a
leaning
win.
towards American Graffiti.
Wow.
And then
Your
Fast Times popped
son,
into my head.
Gary.
No, that's the one. I hate to steal it, but I love the original Weird Science. I wouldn't.
But no one could play Chet.
No, yeah, I know.
No, Chet is. I used to like. I was thinking about. I might even like been doing morning radio somewhere years ago, and they were doing like throughout the 3 hours of the morning radio show, they were doing what is your Mount Rushmore of movie villains.
Okay.
And so
Chet.
my Mount Rushmore was The Wicked Witch of the West, Jaws, Darth Vader, and Chet from Weird Science. I just thought it was the coolest. Like, you get the face, but also they could do like him in the towel. You know, I mean, Chet is just. There's nobody else that could play Chet like Bill Paxton played.
You'd have to actually like just take the performance and digitally move it over into the reboot and just have people play off of him.
I would sign off for that.
This just in: Mount Rushmore's tourism up 500%. People taking pictures. Jaws and that's a great. Oh, Chet is great. I don't know who you would cast in this remake or reboot.
Yeah,
who's I mean, God rest his soul.
Yeah,
Bill
nobody.
Paxton. Jeez, nobody can
fill
touch
those
that.
shoes.
No, and it's a real shame because if you did reboot Weird Science and Bill Paxton was still around, you could have him play the father of whatever Chet is there now.
Right.
Sadly, we'll not get that opportunity. But if you're to do a Mount Rushmore of the shows this week on Collider Movie Talk, I'd probably say Monday, Tuesday, and then 2 Thursdays, because it was just that good. Just kidding, yesterday was just fine as well. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode and this week of Collider Movie Talk. We are off until Monday, where we are going to be doing shows through Thanksgiving for you, so don't worry. Your family's going to be in town. Say hi to them and then show them Collider Movie Talk, because it'll get you out of having another conversation about golf and the Skins game with your grandfather, which I'm rapidly turning into. That Tiger Phil match next week. Whew! Mark Reilly, where can the kids find you?
You can find me at Reilly Around on Twitter and Instagram. Latest, the Reilly Roundtable dropped today on Collider, and Mark Fernandez joined me for a nice conversation on filmmakers.
Oh, you got him on the roundtable.
I got him on the roundtable, and the rule was we couldn't talk about Star Wars, but we kept going into Star Wars because we were talking about filmmakers and Coppola and Scorsese.
He's
and
working
Spielberg.
on a project right now.
Who?
Fernandez.
Fernandez.
He's working on a project.
He's working on something.
He Instagrammed it.
Yeah.
Was that a picture of him in the Instagram in makeup, or was that somebody else?
Oh, no, he had an old person.
Yeah, I was like, is that for... I couldn't...
Yeah, he had a weird filter. So, he shared that.
It looked like the guy from Six Flags. I was like, what happened to... Anyway, so check out Mark Reilly, the Reilly Roundtable.
Yes,
and
please.
Sean O'Connell, thank you so much for gracing us once again on this coast. with
Always
your
a
presence.
pleasure.
You are always welcome in our
Thank
dojo.
you.
Sir, where can all the kids find you out there?
Cinema Blend. I'm running the show over at Cinema Blend. I have a weekly podcast called Real Blend with my friends Jake Hamilton, Kevin McCarthy. I'm at Sean_O'Connell on Twitter, which I use often, and here every once in a while when you guys have me.
Nice.
We are always welcoming of you around these parts, because Sean, like myself, has 2015 vision. You'll get there one day, Mark Reilly. Until then, we throw it to
Over
the
here.
plate. Say goodbye.
Over here.
I am Mark Ellis live. Oh, hey, Phoenix, I got some good news for you. Maybe you too, Chicago, and New York, all coming on Monday's episode of Collider Movie Talk. Hey everybody, Mark Ellis here. Thanks for watching this episode of Collider Movie Talk. You want to watch more? Then click up here, or you can click right here for more great content from Collider. And if you haven't subscribed to Collider Video, do so right now and share this vid with your friends. Thanks for watching.